Okay, so we're still looking at efficiency in Python programming. This time we're on number 4, so this idea of limiting calls to functions where possible. So the idea of these exercises or these tutorials is that you now know exactly what makes programming code efficient, so you have your evidence ready for the programming techniques strand of the controlled assessment. Okay, so this one really now is about this effective use of system resources. So I'm going to have a look at, where are we? This program. Okay, so again, this is a completely arbitrary program. What this is doing is printing a load of strings. This is called lorem ipsum dummy text. So I'm just, you can see I'm calling the print function. The problem with this code is the number of times I'm calling the print function. Python, the language, is going to have to look for where the print function is defined and kind of run this call, which is going to take up more system resources, more processing time, more memory rather. So I'm going to run this program. Whoops, and you can see, so what it does is it prints out each string one by one. So I've timed that again using the datetime library. Now I'm going to look for a more efficient way to write code such as this. So I'm going to use find and replace. I'm going to remove all my calls to print. And I'm going to remove my closing brackets. And then I'm going to fix the lines of code that I just broke. Okay, I'm also going to get rid of my quotes, because a more effective way to do this is to actually make this a multi-line string, so a string that is enabled to have new lines inside it, and then I only have to call the print function once. Okay, so let's test that. Oops, I just need to put my quotes back here. Let's test that. Okay, and what we can see from this is that this took, well, here we're at 0.2 and now we're at 0.09. So again, this reducing the number of times you have to call a function makes a program more than twice as efficient. So I'm going to look at one other example of this now, and this time is the grade calculator problem. So lots of people, when they completed this exercise in lesson, came up with a solution like this. So we're going to time how long this takes. Oops. And again, to make it a fair test, I'm going to use the same test data for both versions of the program. So I'm going to put in a mark of 52. I can see, so again, it's almost instantaneous. Like the processor in my computer is able to run this program almost instantaneously. But hopefully, there's a difference that we're gonna see in this solution now. So again, with the same test data, it's 52. I can see, so very, very narrowly, but I'm improving the efficiency of this program. So what is the difference between the two versions? Can you spot it? So although I kind of entitled this limiting calls to functions, what we're doing here is limiting the use of any unnecessary operations. So in this program, we've got a compound condition. Each logical test is elif mark is greater than the lower boundary and less than the upper boundary. So for each grade, it's having to do 2 of these logical tests, these operations. However, is that entirely necessary? So this goes to show I don't really actually have to check here whether the mark is below 87. So as we covered in the first video, because I'm using if and elif, if the program has got to execute this second logical test, what this means is that the first logical test has definitely failed. So therefore, for this program to get to this point, we know that it's not over 87, therefore it must be less than 87. I don't need to restate that in the programming code. Okay? So something like that can be omitted, and as a result, we get a faster running program. So this was all about limiting unnecessary calls to functions or operators. and this improves execution time, making your code much more efficient.